Alright everybody, it is the vlog time, and they're really short, but I got the job. I'm very happy. I'm like, holy cow, this is freaking awesome. They weren't supposed to notify me until tomorrow. They notified me today. So I've been walking around all day with a smile on my face. It's really cool about that. So tomorrow I'm actually going to do all the paperwork and basically so that they can do the background checks and all that stuff. Oh man, it's just, I can't believe I got it. I'm so happy. I just got out of the shower, so like my hair is still wet and I've got my pajama bottoms on. Actually, I think these are, yeah, I had these for a while. These are like some I got like for Valentine's Day. They were like really on sale, and I picked them up because they actually fit me. I have really short legs, so I have problems finding like pajama bottoms. But anyways, I got the job. I'm really happy. I have been pretty much dancing around all day. I was like thinking, I'm going to do this whole thing. I'm going to like dance around. At the very end, I'm going to say, but I want to be dignified. But I was like, no, I'm not going to do all that. I just got out of the shower. I don't want to get all sweaty again. But what else today? I actually went to the gym today. I was like, okay, I'm going to the gym. I don't care. It's been too many days. It's been too long since I've been. And I got on the, I think I'm going to start calling it the Hell Machine, because it basically, the one where I said it made me sore last time, I got on it again, did 30 minutes on it, and then 30 minutes on an exercise bike. So I did, today is cardio day. So I'm trying to go, like I said, I'm going to split it up to 4 days. I'm going to try to do core, chest and back, legs, cardio. That's how I'm going to try to cycle through them. I don't want to, because I'm trying not to overwork any of my muscles. I want to give them a few days to build back up. But because I am getting older, I know that. Like I'm not 20 anymore. The way I used to do it and be insanely stupid, like work everything out every single day and work through the soreness. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that anymore. But yeah, so did that. The machine today, I could feel my legs and other muscles burning, because it's just, because you're just moving your stride so much. But I really like it, and it seemed to give me a good workout. So let's see, what else? Not really anything else. I've been kind of just like dancing around, like yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I'll have to be doing work at 2 different locations. So 2 days at one place, 3 at another. Programming at one and the server work at the other. Going to be awesome. I'm going to learn so much. I'm so happy. Something I've been doing recently. Actually, today I did a little bit of it because I got really excited and I was like, okay, I'm going to. I need to calm down a little bit. So I actually started going, because I haven't looked through all my old GamePro magazines that I picked up recently. So I actually started going through them today. This is the one I was just looking at just a few minutes ago, and it really they've been really taking me back about these old video games I used to play and things like that. Where is it? Like this right here? This one has like an alt. This is actually something I used in the 80s. I played with these muscle men things. Like there's just these little weird figures that you just, like wrestlers and things like that. They were awesome. And then like these. Where was it? Was it this? I don't think it was this magazine, but there's one that it's one of the older ones too. I was just reading through, and I just saw so many games, and there's one. It was talking about. Now I'm trying to think about it. Oh, Ikaruga! Holy cow! If you haven't played this game, it is freaking awesome. I love shooter games. That's just an ad for it, but this one's too new for it. But there was one that's going through some stuff on the Super Nintendo, and I looked through it and it showed stuff for Castlevania 4, I think. But on the Super Nintendo, and I was like, wow, I really want this game. And today, before I went to the gym, I went to Half Price Books, and they had it. And I was like, oh man, that's so awesome. They actually even had Castlevania 2 on the Game Boy. And I was like, oh man, I want both of those. And then I looked, and I started looking closer at them, like, because they had them inside of their case. And I started looking closer at the Game Boy one, and it was extremely faded. Because when it's behind the case, you can't really pay much attention until, like, unless there's another game sitting beside it. While the other ones were Game Boy Color games, so they were different. They're just different cases. And then they had some. They were like $1, and I picked one of those up. And I looked at it, and I was like, that looks. So I actually kind of held it up, and I looked, and it was extremely, like, just a completely different color. I mean, I don't know if maybe it's sitting on the sun or something. The label wasn't faded, but the thing was just so weird look. And I started looking at it some more, and I was like, okay, it's really dirty, for one. I mean, like, this is the Game Boy game. The Castlevania 2 Revenge of... I can't remember, something like that. But, Return of Belmont, I think that's what it's called. And then it's really, really dirty. I mean, it looks like somebody, the pins and everything, it looks like Coke or something was spilled in it and just dried inside of it. I was like, okay, that's okay, I can clean that out. But, I don't know, but they were asking for like $30 for it. I'm like, that's way too much. I mean, I can get it cheaper off eBay if I really wanted it. But then I saw the Castlevania 4, and I was like, oh man, that's so awesome, I'd really like that. $40, that's pretty much like a collector price. I mean, that's about a top dollar for it. But it looked good. It didn't have a box with a manual or anything. I was like, okay, I'll look at it. Maybe I'll buy it. I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to buy it. But I have like a 20% off, 25% off coupon. That might make it worth it. I asked the guy, let me look at it. I pick it up, and as soon as I look at the pins, I'm like, oh god. And like, I understand, yeah, not all games have all the pins across, but you can tell where a pin's been and is now missing, because half the pin was there and the other half was missing, and the end of it was bent up. And I just looked at it, and I'm just like, oh, that's not going to work. I even look at the guy, I'm like, the game isn't going to work. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, it's missing one of the pins. And he goes, we can't just price. I'm like, I don't care if you adjust the price. I don't care if you make it free, because it's not going to work. And I handed it back to him. He goes, oh. And he, instead of putting it back in the case, because they actually have you have to go to the front desk, they have to get a key. It's a little bit more involved there to get something out of the case. It's not like they're walking behind it and they just open the door up and get handed to you. But when I told him that, instead of him putting it back in the case, he closed it, locked it, and took it back. I guess they're supposed to do it when I try to test it, but they don't have any I mean, I seriously doubt they have a Super Nintendo just sitting around to be able to test it on. I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to take. Maybe they might have a Retron 5 or something back there, but I know they didn't test that game, because there's no possible way that game could work with a missing pin. I don't know. Maybe somebody tried to trick them, put like the wrong game in there, and like broke the pin or something, so that they couldn't verify that it wasn't that or something. I'm not sure, but there's no way they actually tested it. But yeah, it was very disheartening that even if I wanted to buy it, I just couldn't, because of the price. I mean, I wouldn't have bought it because of the price, but the condition of it was just so poor. But yeah, kind of a weird thing. Yeah, I've gotten into this, but now that I'm getting a little bit more selective of what I get now, because I've gotten so many video games. I'm like, I've got such a huge backlog. I just don't want to, like, if I go to any store, anything like that, and they have NES games, and like, oh wow, here's a bunch of cheap NES games that I don't have. I'm kind of like, I'm not going for a complete collection. I don't even care anymore. I'm like, I don't want to buy them, because I know that I'm not really going to buy them. I'm just getting them to put it on a shelf. Like, oh look, all the NES games I got. Like, I only have this many more to get a full collection. I'm not going for a full collection. I don't want to go for a full collection of any system, I don't think. I mean, maybe I might go for something that's really small, but yeah, I doubt it. So yeah, it's very, very odd. My knee is itching like crazy. I don't know why. I'm sitting here scratching it like absent-mindedly. But so yeah, it's just video game collecting. Now I'm getting more into it, and I'm seeing prices just start to go up again. And it's kind of teeing me off. I mean, because honestly, I don't. Part of the problem are collectors because we're paying the price. I mean, they're like, oh, this game is $50. All right, I'll pay it. And but also you have you can't really blame all the resellers because if nobody was paying that much, no, they wouldn't sell it for that much. But I'm actually seeing a lot of people starting to sell their collections off as well on the internet, and people like saying that they're getting out of the hobby. And these aren't people that own like every single game. These are people that have like a huge. I mean, they have like 60, 70 games, and they have rare titles. They don't have they don't have like Little Samson or anything. Little Samson, I think, is the most expensive NES game you can buy right now. But look on eBay at any time, and how many Earthbound games for the Super Nintendo do you see? How many these other games, you're like, wow, this is a $60, $70 game, $100 game. How many of them do you find now? I mean, you're starting to see a lot of them. Like, go to any retro convention, and it's like, okay, I want to like think of a rare NES game. Mario, there's the Mario RPG, and go around and see how many you find. You'll probably find quite a few, and it's like, oh, this is $50. And they're like, oh, we want the price is firm. No, they will not go down. But it's like, but you have it. The table over there has it. Another one over there has it, and another one over there has it, and you all are selling it for $50. It's not a rare game. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to stumble over them. You're not. It's not going to be like a regular like Super Mario Brothers on the NES. It's not going to be that common, but it's not an extremely rare game the problem is that so many video games right now are tied up in resellers. They have huge stockpiles. And these are people like online stores and video game stores and things like that. And they're just there's so many games that are tied up that they have and they're trying to sell off. And it's like, oh, they have, like, I've been to some stores and they have 6 copies of some rare game. Well, you have 6 copies of it. And, like, there's some games that sell really quite quick. Conker's Bad Fur Day for the N64, stuff like that. But Mario RPG, it doesn't sell that quickly. It's like I went to one store that had 3 copies of Mario RPGs. This is the reason why that game popped in my head. And I talked to the guy because I was interested in one. And I said, and he asked him how much. He said $50. I was like, is there any possible, like, I mean, and 2 of them looked in pretty rough shape. The labels were mostly missing. They actually had Mario RPG written on it, like in like the marker. So like you saw like the top part that actually had the end of the label that was gone, and half the sticker on the front was gone. And it's like, I'm not paying $50 for no manual, no box, and it's actually damaged. So, but I was like, so there's no possible, but one of them was in really good shape. The sticker was perfect and everything, and all 3 of them $50. Not for all 3, but each of them $50. So it's either you can buy the bad label one, or you can buy one with the perfect label, same price. And I was like, but I tried talking to him and everything. He goes, this is a rare game, blah, 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 blah. And he kept going on about it. And I'm just like, you do understand condition plays a factor into it. And but that's the only time I've ever been to the store. So maybe he's like, this is a new customer. He doesn't, or this is somebody just traveling through. He'll never be back again. So he didn't care to actually work with me. But that's the problem, is that so many people think that these games are worth are worth so much, but they're not. And honestly, something I see happening very soon is I do expect the bottom to fall out in this market, because how many people are looking for Mario RPG? Okay, well, you think, okay, there's probably a few. All right. Are there more copies of Mario RPG, or are there more people that want it? Because Mario RPG was a pretty good, I think, seller on the SNES. Okay, let's not even think about that. Like, we can think about Contra on the NES. There was a lot of Contra games made. It was a very, very common game, very successful game. And you think, well, everybody wants Contra that collects for it. Yeah, they do. But here's the thing. Every single time somebody buys Contra, that's one less person. So every time that you see that game come up, and I've seen, like, there's at my Half Price Books, they have a Contra. It's $40. It's been there for 3 months. Nobody's bought it. Now, that they're wrong, there have been games that's come in there that they've sold for $150, $200. Like, there's a Jetsons game that's really rare. They sold for $200. But the thing is that the people that would buy those games, those are rare games. Those are probably the people going for complete collections for that expensive of a game. Now, when you start getting into the rare games, like the $50 to $100 range, which is there's quite a few games in that. Most people go, I could buy that people are doing speed runs and beating in 20 minutes, or I could buy this brand new game that's out, or the game that's on the PS3 or the X360 or any of these other number of games that you're going to get a lot more time out of. But that's the thing, is right now the market right now is in a huge flux, and I do believe that we're going to see something happen within the next probably year to 2 years. And when that happens, we're going to see a lot of because I've seen a kind of a weird surge on, like, with eBay and things like that. A lot more retro games are starting to go up really quickly. And I think some resellers are seeing what's going on and are starting to, they're not dumping their entire collections on eBay, because if they did that, the bottom would fall out very quickly. But I think they're starting to put things on eBay gradually, and more are doing it. So it's like, wait, how many copies of our Bounders are up there right now? How many copies of Mario All-Star and Contra? And there's just like so many being listed right now. And granted, some of them are probably fakes, but there's a lot of real ones. And I do believe that here soon, people are going to realize, I already have my copy of Contra. And everybody else is going, yeah, who's buying this? Nobody's buying it. And when that copy of Contra starts dropping in price from 40, 35, 30, 25, and nobody's bought it, and it starts getting down to the $15 range, and somebody buys it, and that's okay. That's the last time it was sold, $15, and then somebody else puts another one up, $40, and it drops down, and it might sell for $20, and every single time they start going up, but then people start having to drop the price by relisting it. More and more, that average price that eBay tells people is going to start dropping, and I believe we're going to start seeing that very soon. Wow, that's me, very long-winded discussion about used video games. If you're not interested in used video games, sorry. That was just something I've seen today. I really reading Nintendo Power magazines and seeing Castlevania really struck a chord with me today, and just noticing how it was just damaged. But hope you guys had a good day. I had a really good day. I got the job. Basically, I'm using my big K right now just so I could go. But see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.